am tired. Oh my goodness, I am tired. But I am glad to be back. We have been gone. We were at E3 last week and didn't have any streams last week. That's okay. It's okay. We were at E3, hanging out with the client, showing off some games, eating tons of good food. I was, at least. I was eating way too much food. But yeah, today we're going to be getting into Stories, The Path of Destinies. It's an action RPG game, and oh my god, I remember playing this game in either 2015 or 2016. Maybe even before that. Maybe like 2014, because when did this game come out? Here, see, now I have to do research. This game came out a while ago, but I remember playing it from... I remember seeing it, rather, at the, at PSX. And I haven't been to PSX in a couple of years. So, the game released... Oh, internet, please tell me. My throat's a little messed up, too. I feel like my throat's been messed up for, like, the past week. Because my allergies, oh my god. My allergies have been insane the past week. When I was in LA, like, I've been to E3 for a few years in a row now, and I've never had allergies there. For some reason, this year, it just, like, hit me hard. Okay, yeah, so it released in 2016, so I saw it at PSX in 2014. Wow, I haven't been to PSX in a while. I like PSX. It's actually a really good convention, but I guess I don't really have a reason to be there because I don't really play on PlayStation anymore. Anyways, let's see. So here's the game. Oh, there goes the music on it. Cool. For some reason, alright, well, it just has that in there. Okay, so I have to get my controller though, because I tried playing this on keyboard and mouse, and it's not working. How do I make this full screen? Let's see. Options, graphics, full screen? Okay. No. For some reason, when I go full screen, you can't see it on your end, but on my end, it like flickers green. And pink. Not full screen, no. Let's make it windowed. Okay, we're just gonna make this windowed. Keep changes, and then let me... Desktop, no. Oh my god, these are giant. Can't see anything. 12. Oh, no, that's not at all. Not what I want! Revert! Revert! What did I do? There we go. Why isn't it showing it on my... Maybe not full screen then? I don't know what's going on. Let me just put it back to desktop. Because apparently that's what it needs to be. Apply. There. Sure. We'll keep changes there. Okay. Back. Okay. That was weird. That was weird. Because on my desktop, for some reason, it like pops it down a little bit. So like, I couldn't see on my screen where it said like back. I can see it in my stream, but not on my screen. Anyways, so we're gonna start a new game. Obviously, it's very story driven. I do have captions on and everything. So this game is real interesting though, because it sets you through a story timeline, and when you get to the end of the timeline, there's decisions you have to make. There's 24 possible endings to this game. 24 possible endings.
Once upon a time,
here we go.
The infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows, she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble
Emperor Toad.
He'd built universities. But then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods.
Ooh.
Midnight rituals.
He's an
victims
evil
screaming.
emperor.
The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Renato had promised his mother he'd protect him.
Whoa! That's like a very... That story is like, goes from 0 to 100 real fast. It's like, you had to visit your mom, and then there's ravens, and they're gonna kill everybody, and there's rituals in the woods. What? Oh, my hair is doing weird things. It's like the first time in a long time I haven't worn my hair up. It's so long! That's the problem right now I'm having with it. It's just I need a haircut. So it's so long that I usually just wear it up. Because I need a haircut.
The kid was looking down, watching his city burn.
Look how pretty
Sorry,
this
kid.
game is, though.
Renato told the kid. Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone. My mother died for this book! I promised her I'd protect you. Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Renato had to run after him.
How do I dash? Okay. Protect Peter.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner. Which probably
Peter,
was what was in their
why?
tiny brains. Hey, Renato said. They cocked their heads at him. Pick on someone as ugly as you. Wait, didn't come out right. For the Emperor! The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
Now we fight. Die, Raven! Nice. Oh no! When an enemy is attacked, left and X to counter. Okay. Left and X. Hell yeah. Die! Y'all, this game is so dope. It's so pretty, too. It's all like these floating islands. I don't know if y'all can see. You'll see better later. There's more to... There's gonna be like crates and
flew
stuff.
overhead.
Look how pretty it is.
He hoped they hadn't noticed him.
Uh-oh.
The kid.
Where's Peter? Peter! Hold X to grab L. Oh, I'm about to chunk these guys. Be gone! Just like throw them off the edge.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes.
The gate.
Someone's
here.
idea of a joke. Making the Skyship Docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate.
Why does the kid have a hero sword?
Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels. Or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere. And neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the kid hopped away.
Dang it, Peter.
Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renato going to get a hero sword?
Alright, I gotta go find a hero sword. Well, looky there! There's a chest.
Ore and wind essence?
I got ore and wind essence.
That sounds
Alright.
about right.
There's workbenches
Perfect.
where I can make swords. is to make my own hero sword. This is the sword crafting menu. Here you can find craft and upgrade powerful magic swords. Gather required materials from the chests. Alright. Not crafted yet. Selected sword, current level, special powers.
A hero sword. QED.
Cool. Ooh, I don't have these yet. But I need more or wind essence. I need more ore to upgrade that sword. Okay. Current level 1. Look badass. Alright. So I guess we're good on here. I don't have any gems yet. So now I should be able to go through the... What's this? That thing. Okay.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about.
Right?
The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renado's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him
rude.
promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid.
I thought the kid had the book.
He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling
Dang
at
it,
him.
Peter.
How'd you get across? He asked the kid. Where'd you find a hook? I hopped, said the kid. Wise-ass kid. Hey, look out behind you. Cute, said Renato. Oh, ravens.
These ravens are up to no good 100% of the time.
It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it?
Use the altar to learn new
Maybe
skills.
if he meditated
Okay. I can do
at
that.
that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Skill. Each time you gain a level, you also gain skill points. Spend your skill points. Right now I have to get a hook. You have a skill point to spend, go and buy a hook shot.
It was starting to come back to him.
Press Y.
Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking.
There you go.
The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Nice.
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestrel run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush.
Ruh-roh.
Stop!
Those things are
He
crazy.
shouted.
Here, wait, there's a...
I'm not giving you the book! Shouted the kid, and took off. No! Peter! But the kid ran for it, and a goggler nailed him with its eye beam.
Peter, why? Ah, this dang kid. I'm gonna break this. You gotta stay out of their little beams or else you're gonna get killed. Because they burned you. There you go. Peter!
The book was unburned. Next
Whoa!
to it were the
Peter's
buckles from
dead?
the kid's shoes. And a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid
Oh
would be
my
alive
God.
now. Really
He had
pissed
one
off and
job.
betrayed, but alive.
One job, Renardo, or whatever his name
Damn
is.
it.
Rolardo.
Renato picked up the book.
One
Couldn't
job.
let the Empire have it now.
Don't let
He was
Peter
going
die.
to have to get it out of there. He'd
Alright,
be
we
a
gotta get the
wanted
book out of
man.
here.
Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock.
Jeez.
Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Ooh, I got peaches. I actually have peaches. I bought peaches at the store. I had a hiccup. Sorry. I got peaches at the store yesterday. Yeah, I got mad health. Oh. Ore. I need like 30 ore to upgrade my weapon.
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out. All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him.
Where are you running, rebel?
Cawed the Raven captain over the loudhailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. Just going out for milk? Renato yelled back.
Where can you run?
Laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job.
Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life!
It called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Renato could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper. The legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could only rescue him. Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose.
Oh no.
Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
Lapino or the Sky Ripper? Lapino, you can't make new old friends. The rebellion was out of time and Renato needed a game changer. Even though Lapino wasn't what anyone would consider a game changer, he can come up with some harebrained scheme. Maybe rescuing him was worse. Built with the Sky Ripper, the rebellion was out of time and Renato needed a game changer. An ancient artifact that defended the lost gods would indeed be a game changer. Though it was split into 2 pieces many years ago, Renato could rebuild it. At first, it's armature. Do you want to go rescue Lapino or build the Sky Ripper? Let's go get Lapino. No. Yes. No. Yes.
Lapino.
Yes. No. Yes.
Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse.
Alright, we have to go save Lapino.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait.
Lapino, please.
Where was the prisoner? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? Renato's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
Each gem has 3 levels. Its effect increases a level. Picking up a gem you already have will automatically upgrade the gem's level. You can find a gem in the chest scattered throughout the Boreas. If you're lucky. Okay, so I don't have any gems, do I? No, I don't. What about swords? No, I can't upgrade anything right now. Okay. A chest. Got a bunch of ore.
Renato wondered what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
Nobody knows. Carrots. I like their little rooftop.
The ravens had taken the town. Renato
Yeah,
had
there's
seen
ravens
villages emptied
everywhere.
like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding.
I gotta go kill all of them, I think. What's this?
He wasn't that good. Yet.
I don't have any skill points, okay. Or 4 days, okay. So I can open this one. Yeah, because I have a hero sword, so that'll work out. Oh lord. Hello, Raven.
Ravens were
report,
landing
nice.
everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top
Just eat
spies like
them.
Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
Got another ore. Where's all this health going? Am I actually collecting it, or am I just like getting it? Ooh, there's a chest over there. Oops. Witnessing.
That's my order, thought Renato. He was such a wit.
My order. What a nerd. I have a skill point. Okay, now I can learn dash.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never
A to
completely
dash.
forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renato. No?
Dashing is great to get like out of these ice spots and there's just tons of enemies. Oh no, he hit me. What a rude dude. Woo! Intense battles. Wait, I need those peaches now. Where are those peaches at?
Renato felt a
This is
chill
ominous.
run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
Combo. Attack immediately when previous attack. Okay. What's this though? I want to know what this is on the ground. Let's go this way.
Barely landed a claw on him.
Okay, there we go. I got health now. Is it
Dirty
Lupino?
and bloody, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We
Who's Zenobia?
capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Easy peasy.
Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter. That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Play a call to Zenobia. Ronaldo and Lapino were back together, but Ronaldo still needed a game changer to save the rebellion. Maybe Lapino was right. Maybe they should go kidnap the Emperor's only daughter and greatest general, Zenobia. Extracting intel out of her would turn the tide in the Civil War. Ronaldo and Lapino were back together. Okay. Even though Ronaldo could no longer get the Sky Ripper's armature, its core was still within reach. Maybe he could still harness the power with Lapino's help. So in order to build the Sky Ripper, I needed the armature, which was part of the quest in the previous chapter of the book. But I could still go get the core, and then probably go back around and get the armature? Let's go get the core with Lapino.
To make the Sky Ripper, the Transcendent Emperor had wrapped an armature around the eye of a god. Bernardo had already let that armature slip away to save Lapino's life. But even its core, the eye torn from a god, surely they could fashion a great weapon from that. The core of the Sky Ripper? Lapino's excited. That's an actual thing that we can just go and get. You've been busy. He sure had. Renato told him all the things he'd been up to. Soon they got to talking about old times, about wages they'd won and lost, and scrapes they'd barely got out of. It was good to be back with his friend. Renato grinned. He had a very good feeling about this. It's beautiful here, thought Renato. He was thrilled to be back with his old war buddy. He'd missed the Mad Rabbit, but something was not quite right. Yeah, there's something a little sketchy about Lapino wanting to go kidnap somebody. I don't know. It's a little sketch monster to me. Do I have enough ore yet? At 27 ore. I need 30. Should upgrade it the way that I want to upgrade it. There's a chest over here. Who needed bridges anyway?
What is that thing? Let's go step on it. Whoa! Hey, I got fire essence. I got teleported somewhere. It's back up front, it seems. Let's go in here. That'll be fine, right? Just jump in the well. It's fine. Oh god, what did I get myself into? Oh no! This is obviously not the right way. There's a chest, so cool.
I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Renato.
I wonder.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. And this is why heroes are called dashing, Renato thought. See? Dashing? Get it?
Ah, you got me. What a rude dude. Missed that one. Okay. Oh my god. You're getting rude. I need peaches.
Renato felt wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been. There were insects, but few birds.
Perfect
He
strength.
didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying ones, but no healthy ones. And getting a bad feeling about this, Renato thought.
Attack
Maybe Lapina was
immediately.
right. Maybe they should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Maybe. Okay, time. Let's see. Slow down time after a successful counter until your next action. Take a breather and plan your next move. Combat. Countering an attack causes damage. That could be a good one.
He'd missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like it was at a reunion.
Okay.
Renato was remembering all his old tricks, and some new ones. Now, he really ought to ask for a raise.
Really should.
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renato felt queasy.
Uh-oh.
Like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it. Tell you what, said Lapino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost. The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Renato. But what if Lapino got the core and then broke it or lost it?
I don't really
Or
trust
worse,
Lapino
was
right
Renato
now.
ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
I don't trust him. Something off about Lapino. Maybe it was the fact that he wanted to go kidnap somebody. The core is far too important to entrust to Lapino. Couldn't I really rely on Lapino? No, it was too risky. Could have carried a core himself. Honestly, I'm taking the core. I
Lapino
don't
is a
trust
touchy
Lapino.
rabbit. Renato knew that. You're brave, I know, Renato said. But this is what I was hired to do. At least let me run ahead and warn the scientists you're coming. So, Lapino was intent on being a hero. Just like
Dang it,
him.
Lapino, go away! Why are you
War
here?
made
Shouldn't
sensible
have-
men crazy for glory. And Lapino had never been sensible. But what was the harm? Lapino might well trip over a hornet's nest of ravens. But that was better than ravens lying in ambush, wasn't it? They finished the trip to the Nexus in silence. Renato had no sooner rescued his friend than he was putting him back in danger. All right, he finally said as they landed. Go. As Renato watched Lapino vanish on the horizon, he could feel nausea building in him. He felt ill. Could his knees really be aching this much? But how could he have handed the core off to Lapino? That was a recipe for disaster.
I need to get some help because I'm like actually getting injured holding this, and I have 44 health left. So if I don't get rid of this thing quick, I'm gonna die. Oh shoot. Oh god dang it, not you guys. I already feel sick, I don't want to fight. I'm gonna die.
These platforms were great. Renato wanted one for his house.
Let me off, let me off, let me off, let me off. Please, please, please have help. Back onto this thing. No.
Renato felt a little better.
Alright, I gotta craft a sword. Oh my god, these guys are rude.
Renato had been in boat crashes that were more fun.
Ooh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
Renato
die.
felt worse. All his joints were aching now. He'd been through beatings that felt better than this. So the core had a kind of poison that could harm you without even touching you. That's new. Well, it had power. The rebellion needed something with power. And how was this any worse than a sword wound? Well, a death by sword was sudden and fair. This was just squalid. A piecemeal death, like old age.
Thank God there's health in these crystals.
He felt like Tarzan.
I wonder if there is health. No. Alright. What are you gonna cross? I'm gonna go on this thing apparently. I don't know where I'm going.
Think of all the artisans he was creating employment for. Truly, he was a job creator.
can craft a new sword. Yeah, let's craft this sword. Hold right trigger to activate your magic sword. Swords consume energy. Alright. Need a little more ore now. Oh, Jesus.
Energy
Ow.
spheres. Easy to dodge, but boy do they sting if you didn't pay attention.
Oh, ow. Wasn't paying attention. Get me off.
Ooh, Renato hated warlocks. The way they stayed
Warlocks?
back and robbed pain and death from a distance. Cowards.
Avoid the
Really
Warlock's fire
dangerous,
spell. It'll damage
effective
everyone in the
cowards.
area. Warlock. Yo, I'm about to die. I literally have 5 health. He's not something for me to eat. There's berries.
It was time to make a new sword.
You gotta make a new sword. I wanna know how I switch, how I like gain energies. This is place.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists everywhere.
No!
Bernardo found the mad rabbit cowering under a desk. The ravens, they must have known we were coming, said Lapino. How did you... Well, see, I was doing a card trick with my lucky deck, and I kind of bobbled the cards, so I went under the desk to gather them up, and boom! I guess we'll have to take the car straight to the secret base. The secret rebel base. Yes.
Sounds
They
like
had
some
engineers
Filipino.
there.
I think he,
Calaveras, the sage in the mountains. Maybe he would know what to do with the naked core.
Still break the core to the rebel base. The engineers there could tinker in something hopefully before he dies. The core is poisoning. No, we're going out right here. We're
The core
the
was
sage.
killing him. He needed help. The sage, Calaveras, had given him the maps to find the armature and the core. If anyone knew the true name of the Transcendent Emperor, if anyone knew how to assemble the Sky Ripper, Calaveras did. If anyone could heal Reynardo and render the core safe, at least to its bearer, surely it was he.
Okay.
The base of the mountain was the only safe place for a landing. He would have to continue on foot, muscles aching. Calaveras was a scholar, not a doctor. Could he really save Reynardo from the poison radiating from the lost god's eye he was so recklessly carrying?
I can make a
A
new
crafting
sword.
bench. Renato wondered what he could make with it.
Hold to quickly recover health over time. Ooh. Good stuff. Okay. I'm hungry.
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods?
Maybe. I died! No! Sad. Restart from checkpoint. Alright, at least my checkpoint wasn't too far away. Why can't I break that? Get out here and warlock. That's the worst.
Oh, this was not a fun way to die. Even if he survived. No one would write ballads about the fox whose knees ached forever, would they? Not unless he paid for it. And he hated paying for publicity. Take a leap of faith, said the inscription.
Do I have that sword? I don't have that sword yet. Alright.
Sharp?
Being able
Check.
to switch swords
Pointy?
in the middle of your fight
Check.
is really nice
Flexible?
because
Check.
one of the swords
What else do you need in a
is
sword?
like a fire sword, so it gives more damage to enemies. But the green sword actually replenishes my health in the middle of the fight. So that's a nice thing to have. Oh, I died again. God dang it. These are getting hard. These fights are getting intense. Stupid warlock, go away.
It was chilling walking through the living mountains. There was always noise up ahead. Insects, birds, the croak and flutter of ravens arranging ambushes. But close by, there was only the breeze and the trickle of melting snow. As if every living thing was holding its breath for his poisonous burden to move on. Bernardo's paws were getting numb. Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? Bernardo hoped his mother wasn't watching.
God, I need so much health. Why aren't these crystals full of health? Somehow. Not enough health, really. This one has blueberries or some sort of berry. Ooh, that's scary. I want to go this way or that way.
Hero wall. Hero sword.
Wrong sword.
Ice wall. Ice cube.
Ice sword. That's what I need. I don't have an ice sword yet. I'm trying to get as much health as I can because I still have this thing on me. The ore or the core or whatever.
A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs.
What is this for? Oh, okay.
Time was running out for the rebellion. They might already be fighting the Imperial fleet. Everything hinged on Calaveras' ability to turn an exiled god's eye into something deadly.
Can't I get this one? Alright, whatever. Whatever! Move on. It's so creepy that it like breaks around you. It's almost like I can't generate enough energy.
A doctor once told Renato that fruit was a placebo, but he felt better. That
Fruit is
what was
delicious.
important.
That's what I had for breakfast. I had a cup of coffee and a bowl of fruit. I had some banana. I had cucumber. What am I saying? Not cucumber. Cantaloupe. Cucumber. One skill point available. Oh, the old man!
The core, splendid,
Croaked Calaveras.
where's the armature?
Right, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't need it.
No, I don't. It's just a professional interest. We've got much better prismatics than the old TE ever did.
So Calaveras was an arcane engineer. He fussed at the core all day. He wrapped it with silver chains, and in front of it, he placed a huge, round ruby, so that it looked like a monstrous, floating eye. So, what is it?
Yeah, I call it the oculum. It's my very first death ray.
And
Dr. Ray?
it won't poison me?
Oh, no. It's completely safe now.
Anything I should watch out for?
Yeah, try to avoid pointing at any mirrors.
As he
I like
loaded
the
the
way this guy
oculum onto
talks.
the
He sounds
farfarer,
like Kermit the Frog.
Bernardo was a little concerned about Calaveras. People who were utterly sure of themselves, he had found, were either experts or horribly wrong. or both. But Renato only needed to fire the oculum once. He only needed to destroy one ship, the Emperor's ship, and the war was over. Renato plunged into the Imperial fleet. He felt the oculum humming. He no longer felt sick. This was going to be fun. Or at least, it was going to be over.
Loading, loading, loading. Every time it loads, it like moves my screen down. It's real weird. I can move it back up.
Renato resisted the temptation to fire the oculum until the time came. He could sense its arcane energies yearning to escape the sage's wrappings. But it wasn't eating him alive. So that was a plus. He felt good about himself. He'd saved a friend, he'd helped the rebels, he'd relied on himself, but he'd listened to others. He
I
felt
don't
like
have
the
any
right
gems yet. Where
sort
do they
of
come
hero. Wise, yet decisive. Calaveras had been so sure it would work. Maybe he could fire it just a few times. No harm in that, right? But only when he absolutely needed to. Hey! Hey! I'm a firefox, thought Renato.
I'm a firefox. What a nerd.
That was awesome!
Nice. Oh, these stupid warlocks.
It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects.
Okay. Beyond the elevator.
What else could you hook?
Good question. Please help, help, please. Onward.
Building these platforms was so expensive, they'd run out of budget for guardrails.
Okay.
Renato's arm was getting tired. The core was no longer eating at him, but he still felt weak. His stamina was shot. But he had the oculum. When the ravens swarmed him, he would sometimes fire its death ray. It seemed to be warming up too, firing more and more often. Maybe he should let it cool off. Yeah, he decided to stop using it entirely.
Why? No, the death ray. What? Okay, onward. Oh, ow, ow, ow. That was painful. What is that guy? What is a shield? Shield grunts will block your attacks. Grab and throw another grunt at him. Alright. So we have to get behind him now. Oh god, he got me! Such swords. Did I come this way? Alright, here we go. Oh no.
Odd. The oculum was still hot to the touch. He almost thought it was getting even hotter. Well, that was ridiculous, of course. Anyway, He'd only to fire it one more time, and then he could chuck the whole contraption into the abyss, and the Emperor's ship was now in range. Reynardo squinted. He could make out the line of ravens protecting the ship. Zenobia in front, conjuring. And on the deck, yes, that was His Imperial Majesty, pacing in his golden armor. Reynardo lined up his shot and fired. Caught in the beam, the ship burst into flames. The ravens and Zenobia exploded. The Emperor, too, exploded. Reynardo waited for the beam to stop, but it only got brighter, and the oculum hotter. Frantic, Reynardo pulled the oculum towards the abyss. The ruby burst into flames. The shiny metal casing glowed, then melted. That was good. Now the core could cool off, right? Reynardo ran. The blast incinerated him instantly, along with both fleets. The shockwave could be felt across all Erda. That winter, with neither Empire nor rebels to rule them, the islands slid into banditry, and so began the Second Age of Darkness.
Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer.
New story
sailing
complete. I finished
away
story
from
number
Ubar.
18, The Fox Whose Needs
And
Hurt.
It was still burning.
Here's balance.
He'd
Makes
fled
sense.
burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
Okay. So we finished one story. I reveal the cheat. The Skyrim core is unstable. Okay. Tier 2. Okay. We open a new location. Desert Temple. Okay. Continue. Okay, so in this one, I rescued Lupino, I found the core, I met the scientist, and I met the Calveras. Cool.
He'd made bad
I
choices.
gotta find 3 more truths.
But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble.
Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renata knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure
Maybe
he
I
could
can go
figure
back
out
and
how
get
to
the
use it
armature
safely.
now.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does,
The Iblis
thought
stone?
Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Oh god, so many. Mysterious temples risen out of the desert. The Emperor has sent his ravens to search for the Iblis stone. Power to bring down the Empire. Let's go here.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Renato went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls.
A stone that ate souls.
A jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
Get the Iblis stone. I don't really know what the Iblis stone does. I guess we'll see.
Ooh, sparkly,
Very
thought
cool, I got
Renato.
water essence. Have enough. Where do I get gems? Like tons of ore.
Who made all these ore chests anyway?
Right?
Well, you could have quite a business doing that. The air here tasted bitter. Steps were too tall for a person. The entire place felt restless, like it had been vexed to nightmare under the dust, waiting for its hour to come around at last.
What does this do? Cool.
Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late. Ronaldo felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that.
Run faster. Impale your enemies on your sword and you grab them, cause damages. Auto activates when reaching a certain combo threshold. Dash. Ooh. It just. I think this would probably be.
Nice. That could be useful.
I do want to move faster. Alright.
Can I borrow that?
If I hook. Hold on, if I use my hook. Oh. Oh, my God. Hold on. I don't have enough. Oh my God, that was such a close fight. I have 5 left of my health. Shoot, man. I need help.
Sometimes, Ronaldo really hated inanimate objects.
Got some energy, Those are my sword things. Can't take it over there, it's too far away. Lame.
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he?
Can't see. Did I get any help? No. There's a big chest in there. What that's all about.
Oh, sweet! A gem.
Ooh, I got a
All
gem!
he needed now was a workbench, and he could slot it into his
Isn't there a
gauntlet.
workbench over here? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, increase resistance to spell damage by 20. Okay, so I have a gem now on my... I still don't have any health, so that's like concerning.
How could a temple to Iblis still even exist? The Transcendent Emperor had destroyed all the shrines of the lost gods after exiling them. Had it been buried in that long-ago battle? Or had Iblis foreseen his fate and hidden it from his enemy?
Wow! I mean, I was one hit away. That's fair, I was one hit away. Where's where's my checkpoint, though? Oh god, I hope my checkpoint wasn't so far away. Okay, good. Checkpoint was not far away at all.
I'm sorry. Was that your shield?
Yeah, being able to take the shield off these guys is nice.
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Oh my god, so much stuff. Can I make it? So you have a skill point available. Target an enemy with dash to move through him and cause damage. It's not worth a shield.
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing, he thought.
Really should. Oh god.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. I can make you mighty. Who said that? Give me blood. It was the stone, eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the Transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "But the core," said the stone anxiously.
What to do, what to do? Yeah, we're gonna go with...
Why was he listening to a talking rock? Ah, but the rock
Why
had a
was he
point.
listening to a talking rock?
If the stone could truly turn him into a powerful warrior, he could defeat the Emperor with the very weapon the wicked old Toad had sought for himself. To be a hero, you had to sacrifice old friends sometimes, especially when they've become enemies. As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Renato had a sudden vision. Charred fields covered in dead ravens below a black sun. Was it the time of the lost gods before the Transcendent Emperor? Was it the future?
It whispered. Take the power. He could feel the stone's hunger for souls. Its thirst for blood. All right, I get it. This was going to be interesting.
Feed Zenobia to the Infinite Stone. This would be great. Oh no, they're all dead. What's this thing do? Nothing?
He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
I need to make an ice sword. Oh, I do. Oh, shoot. I want to eat all the fruit and veggies around here. He saw me. Oh no, 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 oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh god dang it. I just break, like, just kill these?
Who are you looking at?
I didn't realize I could just kill them.
No one.
So long as they're not looking at me, I can slice them in half.
Zenobia was waiting for Renato. She was alone, confident as always. Fire danced at the tips of her claws. Are you here to surrender? She seemed as cocksure as he felt. But she didn't know he had the stone. And I've missed you too, love. He chuckled. She spotted the stone and bolted without another word.
Dang it, Zenobia, get back here! Woman! Okay, I gotta make another sword.
This sword from the frigid north was really useful for making popsicles and birdicles.
No skill points available right now. Oh, this sword's cool. Look, it freezes the birds.
The ravens on Zenobia's island were no match for Renato. They screamed as the stones sucked out their souls. And with each death,
I need energy.
he felt stronger. Take the power. The stone told him.
Zenobia! Get over here!
Finally, Renato caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before. At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way. Kill her, whispered the stone.
Whoa!
You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please. No, said Zenobia. Not that way. Oh, they had been so close once. Could he really feed her soul to his demonic gem? But if he spared her, he would not get the full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be?
Feed her to the stone. The Iblis stone is promised great power in exchange for the blood of Zenobia, isn't it? He came here killing Zenobia would give him the power to take the fight to the enemy. Now that she was in the Mercy, could Renato really kill her? They'd been close ones in their youth. Spare an army, but he died and she would just throw herself in his arms. Guys, I'm gonna kill her! Oh, I'm gonna kill her! Ah, I did it!
With a flick of his wrist, he slashed Zenobia's throat.
Wow, he went
Her
real
eyes
evil.
widened even more. And then the light went out of them. Renato felt amazing. Power was rushing into him like water from a burst dam. Oh, such brilliance, exulted the Iblis stone. Tasty. Renato returned to the Farfarer and set a course for the Nexus. The Empire had a communication outpost there. He could call the Emperor directly. It was time to seize the outpost and let the Emperor know what he had done.
I'm so hungry. I'm gonna make a big fat sandwich when I'm done with this. I went to the grocery store and I got all this food. I made dinner for me and my friend last night. We had like a girls' night, watched TV, had a little drinky. It was good. I got this new mug. It says "Bear with me" and it has a bear on it.
The Nexus was beautiful.
It's also good. I love coffee.
He'd never realized how beautiful. Everything glowed. The wind was so sweet. The sun so soft. The stones so warm. The black raven feathers. Black feathers. Suddenly, his eyes are filled with them. He's falling through smoke under a dead sun. A voice calls him home.
Nothing?
Is this a vision? Whose? Is this the time of the lost gods? Or the future? No matter. What mattered now was killing his way to the Imperial outpost and challenging the Emperor from there.
Okay, I gotta go challenge the Emperor.
If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
True. But I need, oh, I mean, I have full energy. And full health, whatever. Alright, I can go to this door now because I have an ice sword. Wait, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go over here real quick. There's a chest
Renato
over
wondered
here.
if his future self had commissioned these poles.
I really don't need to do that. Where is this taking me? There we go. Get on the elevator.
What are you guys dressed up as for Halloween? Just wondering. Not
I
everyone
got
knew how
another
to
gem.
use magical gems.
So the gems are in these
Of course.
big crates.
Not everyone had magical gem gauntlets like he did.
True. Very true. What's this? So scroll out. School we learn the gospel of the transcendent emperor. The last entity to pierce the skies. Who would banish the evil old gods and grant us the gift of time. But could one man, divine as he may be, create something as intricate as time? I have my own theory. I believe that time is a symptom rather than a gift. I am convinced that on a cosmic scale, there's a pendulum motion between order and chaos. Neat. Alright, you're back here. Where was I? swords. I think I have one more sword I have to make. I did not mean to step on that. Oh, okay, we're here now. Ooh, a peach. Steel sword, an ice sword, and a fire sword, but I don't have. Oh, the ice sword is the best for like getting rid of warlocks. Energy, I'll take all of this. Cool. Alright, where do I go now?
Up ahead was Lapino. What's he
Lapino!
doing here?
Get out of here!
Bernardo! Hey, buddy! Hey there, old buddy! Please don't kill me! Why would I kill you? Asked Bernardo, although he had been thinking about it. Well, you've become... look, I mean, no disrespect at all here. Kind of evil? Maybe you should, I don't know, go to the mountains to have a think? See if maybe you're sure the stone is not all that healthy a thing to keep? I suppose you wanted, Bernardo said, and poked Lapino in the chest for emphasis. Oh, had he just killed Lapino? Oh, damn it.
What the heck? Sorry, Lapino, I did not mean to do that. I poked your chest a little too hard with the sword.
Renato had always wanted a flying carpet. This was more like a flying tabletop, but it would do.
Minutes left in our stream today. Look, there's a big guy over there. I want to go over there. How do I get over there? Let me over. We have 15 minutes. I'm probably just gonna continue playing. Ooh, what is that? Watch out for explosive ravens. When hit or thrown, they'll explode after a few seconds. Use them there. Okay. So basically hit them and run away. Got it. Can do.
Renato rampaged through the Imperial outpost like a water buffalo rampaging. At the last moment, he remembered not to kill the Farspeaker Toad. After all, he wanted a word with the Emperor. But there was only silence. Haha! The Emperor was scared, like little girl. Well,
Like a little girl.
he would gather the rebel
Yeah,
army
it was
and
good.
slaughter the Imperial fleet.
No, it is pouring rain outside. It's supposed to be raining like the next 3 days.
Applauded the Iblastone. Tremendous. Then the Emperor would have to answer his far speaker, wouldn't he? Who are you? Asked a distant voice that sounded uncomfortably like Zenobia. What have you become? The mountains. Go to the mountains, urged another that sounded a bit like Lapino.
Yeah, we're not following Lapino. Forget Lapino. He's a rude dude. Rude dude Lapino is his name. Listen to distant voices. Maybe he should listen to the voices and go to the mountains. Or do we want to... A word to win, yes. Gotta go to the rebel base and rally everyone. I don't trust Lapino. Kinda wanna go to the mountains.
What are you doing? Demanded the Iblastone. I need to think, Renato told
Yeah.
it. You're not good at thinking, said the Iblastone. You're good at killing. It's what you do. It's your destiny.
The Iblastone make me real evil,
But
like
he set
made
sail
me
for the
real bad.
mountains, where he could be alone with his thoughts. Why were there Raven Scouts here in the empty mountains? Was there nowhere he could find peace and quiet? There were other ravens here too. Shadowy ones, transparent, lining the path. Ghosts. They cawed as he passed, but they didn't try to stop him. Spectators. Had he really killed that many ravens? That was always a rush. Then he saw her. Zenobia. She was a ghost too.
Gotta
She
follow
ran off
Zenobia.
when she saw him. How could a ghost be afraid? He followed her. He had to.
Too much ore. I should be able to make that purple sword soon. I don't know what the purple one is, though.
This would be the perfect place for a tic-tac-toe board.
Yeah, number one way to kill warlocks is priest.
Renato followed Zenobia's ghost. Had he gone mad, seeing ghosts? Was she running from him or leading him somewhere?
She's leading me
He'd
somewhere.
come here to be alone, but he'd never been less alone in his life. Every raven he had slain haunted these rocks. Was this who he was? A killer. He was terribly good at killing. He was an adventurer. Or was that just another word for killer?
Adventurer, killer.
Whispered the stone. Destiny.
Alright. he go? No, I want to go back this way. Oh no, some of my ore fell though. It's okay, I got it back. Now we can go this way.
He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
I was sure of it. I need all this energy though for my swords. Also, if there's ore in these, I'm full of health already. See, there's ore. I think they're worth going and doing. One of those people, like in Legend of Zelda, I would always like destroy all the pots so I can get everything and cut all the grass. Alright, whatever, let's go. Gotta follow Zenobia. She just went this way. Where she went. Okay.
He tried to focus on the job he had to do. The rebellion. Wasn't there a battle coming soon? Would there be ravens to kill? Even an emperor? Such killing. Much wow.
Such
he'd never been
killing,
so
much wow.
excited.
Alright, so I have a skill point available. Attack enemies at any distance. Auto activates and reach a certain combo threshold. Okay. Okay, what was this one? Heal your enemy on your sword when you grab him to cause damage. Okay. So either the dash one or the combo one. Because I do use dash quite a bit. Dash enemies. Mark on shielded weapons, that's fine. Attack enemies at any distance. Activates and you get a combo threshold. Let's go with the dash. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Zenobia, what's up, girl?
At the end of the mountain path, Zenobia awaited him. He could see right through her. "Why did you kill me?" she said. "I was your prisoner, and I loved you." "I needed the power," he said. "Haven't you heard? There's a war on." "Then what's your excuse for killing me?" asked his old friend Lapino, stepping out of the shadows. Bernardo didn't have an answer for that.
Accidentally killed you, my bad.
"The demon has twisted you," said Zenobia. "Abandon the stone. You've lost too much already." Her words bit deeper than any sword ever had. So he shook his head, and once again swung his blade through her and Lapino. It had to all mean something.
Oh my god!
If he gave up the stone now, he would have sacrificed Zenobia and Lapino for nothing. So
yeah, I can give
Renato
him the
set
stone
course
now.
for the Imperial
We're
fleet.
straight
But he
evil.
would end
This
it
is
all.
what- this is
The
the
Emperor.
story we're playing. We are
The war,
evil.
the madness.
Wow, I can't believe. Cannot believe. That's insane. Coffee, 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 coffee.
Renato boarded an Imperial ship. No one could... Emperor. Yes, that was right.
To give up now would be to lose everything for nothing.
But if you could
But
liberate
if
the
he could
land.
liberate the land from the Mad Emperor, then he could give up the stone in peace. And those were absolutely his own thoughts, not the stone manipulating him, right?
Oh, yes. Exalted the stone.
The Void Blade, this is what I need. But I need a ton more ore, like tons of ore.
He could hear a tiny
some wood
voice
essence.
within him. Don't
Alright.
kill the Emperor. The stone will eat your soul. Was it madness?
Do I kill the
I have
Emperor?
to kill the Emperor.
I have to kill the Emperor.
Told himself. That's what it meant to be a hero. To do what had to be done, no matter how terrible the cost. Yes. And then you can have peace. Promised the stone.
I still don't have a void. I don't have enough ore to make a void blade. Alright.
The portal was heavily guarded. It must go someplace they really didn't want it to go.
Yeah, dashing is a good idea. I need to get out of here. Almost died there. Well, not died, but almost got exploded on, I guess. Is there any energies? I need energy. There's some energy. I'm streaming.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I'm gonna use the pot.
Huh?
Can I borrow a pot?
Yes. My friend's here. Here to borrow my dishes. Like, I just got spooked so bad I didn't know she was here. Oh my god, this warlock is insane.
Already Renato knew more than he ever had. But about what?
Alright, I gotta get to the Emperor. Energy. Oh man.
The tiny voice, whatever it was silent. He couldn't see ghosts around him, but he could feel them. If he gave up now, they would be angry. They would have all died for nothing. Who could give up this kind of power? Could anyone? Oh, he was just a fox with a talent for swordplay. How had this burden come to him?
I still
Offered
need
the sword.
20 more ore.
Peace. Yes, peace. That is what he wanted now.
He'd once met a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
Nothing.
This was much easier than free climbing.
Do I get to go fight the Emperor now? Oh my god. What was that? It's a different kind of, enchanters can buff and heal enemies. Cool, so kill the enchanters, right?
The Emperor was cowering in front of his ship.
Oh, I got an achievement.
Please don't kill me.
Croaked Emperor Isengrim III.
Here, take the crown. I don't want it anymore.
You must kill him, or he will have his troops. He will send us.
Please, have mercy. The rebellion is won.
No, I don't trust
or
this
you
guy
could be
at all.
emperor. I'll just go be a scientist or minstrel or sell gummy bears. Yeah, I promise not to bother you.
It's your moment. With all the love he'd ever had for Zenobia, for Lapino, for the kit foxes he would never have, Renato raised his sword. And Renato plunged his sword into his own
What?
chest.
I killed myself?
Wait. What?
No! You're supposed to kill the Emperor.
Renato screamed as his life force ebbed into the stone and surged back into him, and ebbed out and surged back in. No! Screamed the stone. It began to heat up. What have you done? The stone began to glow. It became white hot. It became lava. Nice
my
knowing
God.
you, said Renato, as the lava ran like butter. And he died.
Whoa!
Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really
Wow.
died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the
The
book,
Iblis
wasn't
corrupts
it?
everyone who uses
Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks
Thanks
a
a
bunch,
bunch.
book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it. But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right?
There's 24
Otherwise,
of
what was
these
the
guys.
point?
There's 24
And with
different
that,
storylines.
The book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to
Needed a game
choose.
changer.
The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renata knew
See,
that
like, I'm
using
gonna
it
have
could
to
go
play this game
catastrophically
again.
wrong. But he was sure he could
So I
figure
can
out
do
how
the
to use it
Sky
safely.
Ripper story.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert.
'cause we already did
the
that.
Iblis stone was
We did the
hidden
Iblis.
there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing.
We already
Lapino
grabbed
was no
Lapino.
game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Wow, guys. Okay, so we were able to play through 2 full storylines of the game out of 24. So yeah, I'm gonna actually call it for today. We'll probably pick up this game again at some point, probably next month, and I'll continue from where we are now and do more storylines. But yeah, I love this game. It's a lot of fun. You can pick it up on Steam. Otherwise, you will be able to see more of our streams here on Twitch and on Mixer. Make sure to tune in tomorrow here on Twitch. Marcos will be here playing something fun, and I will be live over on Mixer on Thursday playing some PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, some PUBG. It should be a lot of fun. There's going to be an update tonight, but make sure to keep up with Novi Unlimited and everything we have going on in games on our Facebook and on our Twitter. It's just at Novi Unlimited on both, and yeah, make sure to hit that follow button if you're hanging out with us today. But other than that, I'm going to go get some lunch. And I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I will catch y'all again on Thursday over on Mixer. Bye, guys.